What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the vlog for the week of March 25th, 2019. I hope you're all doing very well. Anyways, I'm kind of just getting back into the swing of things after GDC. The Game Developers Conference was last week, which I attended and made a bunch of videos about, so I hope you all enjoyed those. And if you couldn't tell from those videos, I had an excellent time at GDC. It was so much fun overall. There are a bunch of things going on at GDC, and now the week after GDC, we're seeing a bunch of news throughout the video games industry. However, there's one thing in particular that I'm going to be focusing on today, and that is Apple Arcade, which is Apple's new sort of like game subscription service. It's supposed to be something that, you pay a monthly fee for, and you instantly have access to a massive variety of games from all different types of developers. And it seems like a really neat idea, but I do have some problems with it, and I just wanted to address those in this video here. Now, I don't want to make this video a completely negative video or anything like that. If you haven't seen the trailer for Apple Arcade, definitely go watch it. It's only about 3 minutes long, and all the games that were shown off in it seem really freaking cool. I definitely want to play all of these games. And it just seems like they really want to offer a wide variety of games from a wide variety of developers. So we have, very small teams who have not maybe worked on as many games, up to very large teams and some people who have been working in the games industry for decades now. And so it is a pretty neat idea on paper, and we're starting to see a lot of these game subscription services come up about, such as Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass, which is a really cool service because they bring pretty much all their first-party exclusives to the Xbox Game Pass service. So when you sign up for that subscription, you have access to, the newest Halo games and Gears of War and all that stuff. Now, to be clear, I don't dislike the idea of these game subscription services. I mean, it's much like a Netflix for video games, which I think is a great business model and good for them for doing it. Me personally, I don't subscribe to any of these game subscription services at this time. There's none that really appeal to me all that much, but maybe my opinion on that could change in the future. Also, I just don't have a whole lot of time to play video games, and I will be getting to that later in this video. But while these services do sound cool on paper, I do have one major problem with them. Now, I know Apple has announced this, but I don't know if any of the other major game subscription services have publicly commented on this. But the main problem I have with this is the way in which developers get paid. So obviously, if you're making video games, it's not free to do that. These people who are working on them spend very large portions of their lives dedicating to these one specific game projects. And I mean, they need to get paid. They need to, pay the bills and support a family and, just be rewarded for making an awesome game. And so the way developers get paid with Apple's subscription service is based off of the amount of time people are playing in your games, which I have a bunch of problems with. So the first problem I have, and this may not be a problem in the future, is just I don't really know how exactly the money is calculated. So I'm not sure if they take the cumulative hours played in your game across all players and all platforms and everything, and then divide that by the amount of hours played for all games across the Apple Arcade service. And then using that percentage, they basically take that amount out of all the revenue generated from the subscription service, which kind of makes sense. Or another way I guess they might be able to do it is on kind of like an individual basis. So say if the subscription costs $10 a month and they play, your game for 5 hours that month and another game for 5 hours that month, maybe from that each developer gets $5 of your subscription money. So I just don't know how exactly that's going to be calculated. And of course, Apple is going to take out, their little portion of it because this is the platform that they're, providing to everyone. So we'll see how exactly that number is calculated and how much Apple takes out and all that. But the main problem I have with it is just the fact that it's based off of hours played. So I kind of have a problem with that because the games that I like to make and the games that I like to enjoy are typically these short single player experiences that, you could maybe play in 1 or 2 sittings. And I really like these types of play experiences because I really don't have a whole lot of time to play video games, definitely not as much as I would like to. And when I do finally get a chance to sit down and play some games, I'd, like to play through a whole story in a sitting or two rather than playing some massive game like, I don't know, Persona or something that you have to spend like 100 hours before you can complete the whole story. Or maybe like a multiplayer game like Fortnite or something where you're basically just playing through the same mode over and over and over again. You're quickly going to rack up a whole lot of hours played. Now, I don't have a problem with Persona or Fortnite. I think they're both fantastic games. What I do have a problem with is the fact that Apple is paying developers based solely off of amount of time played in a game. And I really think that the problem with doing this is that it encourages developers and particularly maybe more greedy publishers to make games that are, really addictive, but maybe pretty shallow. But then for the developers like myself who want to make some of these like shorter and tighter game experiences, it doesn't seem like they're going to get as much of a slice of the pie. Now, I don't think the Apple Arcade subscription service is like a bad thing or anything like that. I really just hope that the structure they have set up doesn't get abused by certain developers who maybe want to make some really shallow game that's just really addictive to play so that people will play it for hours on end. And I mean, we've already seen the mobile market get completely cannibalized by itself. By basically just encouraging this race to the bottom. First we started seeing games that were about $10, and then, later it kind of dropped down to like $6 and then $5. And then we saw games being offered for 99 cents, and then eventually everything was free. Everything turned free. Everything had a ton of ads in it, and then there were in-app purchases like crazy. And the system had been totally abused and just like taken over. And some of these larger companies have just been making millions and millions of dollars, where a lot of these small developers are literally making nothing. And I know Apple, with this subscription service, they're taking some steps to kind of avoid some of these problems. I think they said that they're not allowing games where you like have to watch ads to get certain rewards. And so that's definitely going to improve the quality of some of these games that we get. But again, I really just hope that people don't start looking for loopholes and just like figuring out optimizing the best way to extract as much money as possible out of this program. But at the end of the day, there are so many other platforms to publish games for, so I don't think it is a major problem for game developers, especially smaller developers like myself who want to make some of these short and tight single player experiences. There are a bunch of other places that I can put my game that it can be played by different people. So anyways, this is certainly not the end of this conversation. I mean, this is definitely going to evolve as we learn more about this subscription service, as well as many other subscription services, and especially things like cloud gaming, such as Google Stadia platform, which was just announced the other week. Go check out my video to hear my thoughts on that, as well as Microsoft's cloud Azure gaming platform, or whatever the heck they're going to be calling it. We're just at a point right now where the games industry is radically changing. I think there's a lot of things that are changing for the good, but there's also a lot of things that are questionable, and we'll just kind of have to see how they play out in the end. So anyways, let me know all your thoughts on this down in the comments section below. But that's just about all I have for you in this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button. Also, feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already for much more awesome independent video game development related content like this. Anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.